Today we're talking with Elizabeth Jackson about NRAS, the National Rental Affordability Scheme, a joint venture between the state government and the federal government to make rental properties more affordable and with big implications, Elizabeth, for property investors.
Oh, absolutely. This scheme has been around since 2008.
Now, the bottom line, I guess, the sexy bit for investors is they can get $10,000 a year tax-free for lowering the rent on their investment property by 20%.
That's it. And the scheme runs for them over a 10-year period. So in essence, they actually get in excess of $100,000 back over the 10-year period of owning that property. After the 10-year period's finished, then it goes back to being a regular, ordinary investment property. So they own the investment property outright. It's theirs.
Can they still negative gear their property?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the arrangement that we have is that the investor rents the property out at 20% less market rent. That's critical to this. Then what the government are doing is it's almost going ahead and thanking the investor for doing so.
Who decides what's 20% less?
Well, we've got an independent valuers on the first, fourth and seventh year. Because you've got to remember the money that the state and federal government are contributing to this is public money. So it's a serious program. And what I've found since 2008 is not enough people are educated on the program.
Any property anywhere, or how does it work?
No. There's a science to this. They've gone ahead and they've allocated key growth areas around Australia. So this is a national program. If we talk about Victoria, I'll mention some areas to you, and you would have heard them primarily in the media. We're talking Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo. We've got NRAS properties in Footscray, that's a key growth area, Frankston, Dandenong, Box Hill, North Melbourne. We've also had NRAS allocations for the Docklands, and we're currently looking at the city as a site as well. So what we're seeing is the investors that know about it, it's an easy understanding for them.
Now, is it also good, I guess, for builders? Can a builder build 10 units and do that, or has it got to be individual investors?
We've got some very large developers here in the Victorian market that we're working with currently, and they're supplying us with the end product, or the NRAS stock.
Now, you talk about development projects, any in particular?
Oh, look, the ILLOURA project at the moment in Bundoora, and we're dealing with an exceptional development out there with 27 apartments in a prime location.
ILLOURA has 27 apartments. It's a relatively small boutique development. But the big advantage is 20 of those 27 face north, which means they also overlook onto a park and are incredibly energy efficient at the same time. Security is important to us, so we've only got keypad lock systems to all the public areas. A choice of 1 or 2 bedrooms. The other choice is with the one bed is whether you want a car park or not. Obviously there's a price advantage if you don't have the car park. And given the apartments, where they're located, you probably don't even need one. I mean, the tram and bus is directly outside your door. Go towards the city and you'll end up in the city in about 35 minutes. Go the other way, you get up to Bundoora, RMIT Bundoora campus, so there's another university. We're directly opposite La Trobe Uni. 5-minute walk in one direction to La Trobe Private Hospital. 5-minute walk in the other direction and you're in the Bundoora Park with its golf courses, animal farm, billabongs, and being constructed at the moment is a shopping centre diagonally opposite the actual apartment complex, which should be finished in about a year's time. I put myself in the tenant's shoes and then say, what would I want if I lived here? The answer then becomes trying to get costs down as much as possible. So they're fairly compact, but they're definitely very livable spaces. We've focused on the outdoors. We've intentionally brought the outdoors in and the indoors outdoors. We've got large windows, and why not? I mean, 20 of the 27 overlook a beautiful river red gum native forest. So you can imagine you've got north face on nearly all the apartments, plus a really good view. The deal with NRAS is very simple. Let's say one of these apartments was renting for about $14,000 a year. The owner has to give the tenant 20% off, so that's about $2,800, so your rent's in the $12,000 area. And the government gives you $10,000 as the landlord for that pleasure. Now, why wouldn't you go and have NRAS? But I'm looking at it not so much even from the landlord's perspective, I'm looking at it from the tenant's perspective. They get an incredibly good deal and the landlord gets an incredibly good deal.
Your business is the NRAS Superstore?
Yeah, I'm NRAS Superstore.
Right.
What we do, look, we've been running workshops and seminars throughout Melbourne at lunchtime and during the evening, and bringing investors to us and sitting down and engaging in an open workshop, discussing NRAS openly, and then allowing them to go ahead and select whatever NRAS property works for them.
Thanks very much for that, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Jackson there from the NRAS Superstore. If you'd like to know more about that, go to our website mptv.com.au and follow the prompts.